June 6, 1944, the storm-tossed beaches of Normandy, France. Private John Steele dangles from his parachute caught in the church steeple at St. Mary-Glise, the cold Channel wind whipping his face as bells toll wildly below. Gunfire crackles through the pre-dawn gloom, silhouettes of paratroopers dropping like dark rain into hedgerows alive with German machine guns. Steele's heart races, not just from the drop, but the weight of secrecy. Months of deception leading to this moment where Allied forces storm Hitler's vaunted Atlantic Wall. You can almost feel the damp silk of the chute tugging, hear the distant roar of landing craft engines as waves crash against Omaha's bloody sands. Steele watches gliders crash into fields, rangers scaling Point Duac cliffs under withering fire. This is D-Day, Operation Overlord, the largest amphibious invasion in history. 156,000 men hitting 5 beaches, defying Hitler's iron certainty that it would come elsewhere. In Berlin's bunkers, Hitler sleeps soundly, convinced by his general's reports. The real blow falls at Pas de Calais, not this feint in Normandy. Intelligence folders had piled high with Allied misdirection, dummy armies, fake radio traffic, double agents feeding lies. Field Marshal Rommel had inspected fortifications and warned of vulnerability, but Hitler overruled. The Americans are bluffing. Their mongrel army cannot breach our wall. As Steele cuts free and drops into the fight, the beaches erupt. Utah secured quickly. Gold and Juno by Brits and Canadians pushing inland. Sword linking paratroopers. But Omaha, bloody Omaha, becomes slaughter. Rangers pinned by cliffs, infantry wading through corpse-choked surf. Hitler's awakening brings rage. Impossible. Where are the reserves? Delayed by his no-move-without-order edict, panzers sit idle. The Allies prove him wrong, not just landing, but holding. But the deception's roots stretch back to London war rooms, where masterminds wove a web of lies that fooled the Führer himself. Spring 1944. The smoke-filled war rooms beneath London's Storey's Gate, where the air hums with typewriters and the scent of stale tea lingers over maps pinned with colored flags. Lieutenant Colonel David Strangeways, mastermind of Operation Fortitude, leans over a table cluttered with fake documents, his eyes sharp behind wire-rimmed glasses. Double agents like Juan Pujol Garcia, codenamed Garbo, feed Berlin meticulously crafted lies. Radio chatter from phantom armies, inflatable tanks in Kent fields, Patton commanding a fictitious 1st U.S. Army group aimed at Pas de Calais. You can almost feel the tension in the dim light, hear the scratch of pens forging deception as Strangeways coordinates with MI5 and Allied command. This is the greatest bluff in history, convincing Hitler the main invasion strikes where defenses are strongest, buying precious hours on Normandy's beaches. Hitler, obsessed with Calais as the logical shortest route, hoards reserves there, 15th Army, panzer divisions under Rommel's control. Rommel fortifies, mines, obstacles, concrete, but spreads thin across 3,000 miles of coast. The Allies will come where expected, he argues, but Hitler fixates on his intuition. Garbo, Spanish double agent, sends 500 messages, building credibility with early truths, then flooding lies. Fake divisions, 3rd Canadian, 2nd British, complete with leaked orders, aerial photos showing dummy landing craft, even Eisenhower's name attached to misdirection. German Abwehr swallows it, Canaris replaced, but new intelligence chief buys the narrative. Hitler boasts to aides, "I know their plans, Calais." He forbids reserve movement without personal order. June 5th storm delays D-Day 24 hours, fortuitous. Hitler sleeps late June 6th, aides fearing to wake him. By time panzers authorized, hours lost, Allies ashore. On beaches, deception pays. Utah lightly defended, sword links airborne. Omaha grinds bloody, but no immediate counterattack. Rommel absent, birthday in Germany. Rundstedt requests reserves. It's the invasion. Hitler, wait and see. The web holds. Fake armies keep 15 divisions pinned weeks after D-Day. Breakout inevitable. But Hitler's arrogance blinded him to the Allies' greatest weapon, coordinated deception, proving his superior intuition fatally wrong. And as Normandy foothold solidifies, the real proof comes in blood and breakthrough.
June 6, 1944. 0700 hours. The churning surf off Omaha Beach, where the sea runs red with blood and the air fills with the acrid smoke of burning landing craft. Sergeant Harlan Crossman, 116th Infantry Regiment, 29th Division, clutches his M1 as his Higgins boat ramp drops, icy water surging to his waist. Bullets whine past, pinging off the ramp, men beside him crumpling before feet hit sand. The beach stretches like a killing field, obstacles, mines, cliffs bristling with concrete bunkers pouring MG-42 fire at 1,200 rounds per minute. You can almost feel the shock of cold waves dragging at your gear, hear the screams over the roar as Crossman stumbles forward, using a fallen comrade for cover. This is the crucible, Omaha, Hitler's proving wrong in flesh and steel. Rommel's asparagus poles impale boats, Belgian gates tangle props. Rangers at Pointe du Hoc scale ropes under grenades, taking the guns, only to find dummies. Yet the foothold holds. Deception buys time, no immediate panzer counterattack. General Bradley offshore considers evacuation, but waves push on. Destroyers steam dangerously close, dueling bunkers point blank. Crossman's company reaches the shingle, Bangalore torpedoes blasting wire. Medics drag wounded, chaplains give last rites amid chaos. Gold, Juno, Sword fare better. Canadians and Brits inland by noon, linking airborne. Utah lightly defended thanks to misdropped paratroopers disrupting Germans. Eisenhower's gamble, stormy weather, surprise, pays. Hitler awakens late, rages at reports, a diversion, refuses panzer release. Rommel rushes back from Germany. By evening, reserves trickle, too late. Allies ashore, 10,000 casualties, but 156,000 men, thousands of vehicles. The proof mounts. Hitler's intuition failed. Atlantic Wall breached not by brute force alone, but deception scattering response. Fortress Europe crumbles beach by beach. But the real humiliation comes in the bocage breakout, where Allies turn foothold into avalanche. July 25, 1944. The hedgerow-choked fields near Saint-Lô, Normandy, where the summer sun bakes the earth into dust clouds kicked up by exploding shells. Lieutenant General Omar Bradley stands in a forward observation post, binoculars trained on the German lines as thunderous bombers darken the sky. Operation Cobra, massive aerial bombardment followed by armored breakthrough. The ground shakes violently, 1,500 heavy bombers dropping 4,000 tons on a narrow corridor, craters overlapping like moonscape. You can almost feel the concussion waves rattling your teeth, smell the cordite and churned soil as Bradley watches the carnage. Hitler's Atlantic Wall, once boasted impenetrable, now a shattered shell. Deception's fruits, panzers still pinned at Calais weeks after D-Day, reserves trickling too slow. As bombs lift, Patton's Third Army pours through. Sergeant Bob Slaughter, 116th Infantry, rides a Sherman forward, bocage hedgerows exploding under rhino prongs welded to tanks. German defenders, shaken, buried alive or fleeing, crumble. Panzers counterattack piecemeal, outmaneuvered in narrow lanes. Avranches falls July 31st, gateway to Brittany and open country. Patton unleashed, drive like hell.
tanks race 50 miles in days, encircling Falaise. Mortain counterattack, Hitler's last western gasp, fails disastrously. Ultra intercepts reveal orders, Allies ambush. Falaise pocket closes August 21st. 50,000 Germans trapped, annihilated by artillery and typhoons. Roads clogged with burning vehicles, horses, corpses. Survivors stream east, Army Group B gutted. Hitler rages in Wolf's lair, traitors, incompetence, sacks commanders, but reality bites. Normandy lost, Paris liberated August 25th. The impossible invasion not only succeeded but routed his Western armies. Allies prove him wrong utterly, not a feint, not repelled at water's edge, but a dagger to the heart. Deception, coordination, air and naval supremacy, democracy's mongrel forces outfight the master race. But the pursuit races to Germany, where Hitler's final defenses await crumbling. September 17, 1944. The misty bridges over the Rhine at Arnhem, Netherlands, where the autumn wind carries the sharp crack of small arms fire and the distant boom of artillery. Lieutenant Colonel John Frost, commanding 2nd Parachute Battalion, 1st Airborne Division, grips the railing of the Arnhem Road Bridge, his men dug in amid burning vehicles and rubble. Operation Market Garden, Montgomery's bold gamble to seize Rhine crossings, outflank Siegfried Line, end war by Christmas. Gliders litter fields, red berets holding against SS panzers closing the ring. You can almost feel the damp chill seeping through uniforms, hear the desperate radio calls for relief as Frost's force, outnumbered, outgunned, fights house to house. Below, Rhine waters flow indifferently past the prize they hold too briefly. Hitler's Atlantic Wall? Bypassed, crumbled. Deception's legacy. Germans still wary of Calais' second landing, reserves scattered. Allies race east, Paris liberated, Brussels in days. Patton's tanks fuel-starved but pushing, Montgomery's corridor stretching thin. Arnhem fails, Frost captured after 9 days, bridge lost. But the race continues. Remagen Bridge captured intact March 7, 1945. Ludicrous luck. Hitler courts-martials officers for cowardice. All Allies pour across Rhine, Eisenhower's broad front. Siegfried Line breached, Ruhr encircled. Hitler's impregnable defenses prove paper. The proof complete, not repelled at beaches, not contained in bocage, but flooding into the Reich. Hitler's racial superiority, intuitive genius, shattered by mongrel democracy's coordination, industry, adaptability. As spring 1945 dawns, the Reich reels. One invasion, one deception, one relentless advance, proving the Führer catastrophically wrong. But in Berlin's bunkers, delusion lingers to the end. March 1945. The fog-shrouded banks of the Rhine near Remagen, where the Ludendorff Bridge stands miraculously intact amid the roar of American artillery. Captain Abraham Greene, 9th Armored Division, peers through binoculars as his task force races forward, tracks clanking on cobblestones. German demolitions fail, charges detonate too weakly. Shermans rumble across first, GIs cheering as they secure the far side. Hitler's impregnable river barrier breached by luck and speed. You can almost feel the vibration of the bridge under heavy tanks, smell the cordite from failed explosives as Greene watches engineers cut wires. Hitler, in Berlin bunker, explodes in fury. Court-martials officers for treason, orders bridge destroyed at all costs. Too late. Allies pour across, expanding bridgehead. Remagen accelerates collapse. Ruhr encircled, April. Industrial heart lost, 300,000 prisoners. Patton races east, Montgomery methodical north. Soviets close from east, Vistula to Oder in weeks. Hitler proves him wrong utterly. Not repelled at sea, not contained in France, not held at Rhine. Fortress Europe falls in months. His racial contempt, American mongrels cannot fight, shattered by GI grit, British resolve, Canadian tenacity. Final humiliations. Ardennes' failure exposed reserves depleted by the Eastern meat grinder. Wonder weapons, jets, V-2s, too few, too late. Ideology forbids negotiation, fights to ruin. April 30th, bunker suicide. May 8th, unconditional surrender. Allies prove him wrong on every count. Deception fooled him. Invasion succeeded massively. Advance unstoppable. Democracy's coalition, industry, adaptability, moral cause overwhelms dictatorship's hubris. D-Day wasn't just landing, it was the beginning of the end, proving Hitler's genius, the fatal delusion that cost the Reich everything.